How's it going, rednecks? For you, that was just a couple seconds worth of video. For me, it was a small workout, especially considering one of the brakes were dragging. But before we get into what we're gonna do, how about we get that hood open? Today's objective is to get this thing running so we don't have to keep repeating what I just had to do there and push this thing around. And I've already been doing some investigating and found a broken wire, which I have already patched back up. And I found out that only took care of the headlights, turn signals, and everything else. So I got all the lights working on this thing again. I have to put the coil packs all back into place. And then, let's see what it does. The next thing we need to do is install the computer back into the car, so shouldn't be too difficult. There we go. Last thing we need to do is put another battery in it, because the negative terminal on this battery is actually stripped out, and it just so happens that the Baja Bourbon's battery is the same one that this car needs. So let's get this one out and get the Baja Bourbon's battery installed. Alright guys, right now the Baja Bourbon battery is pretty dead, as well as the battery I pulled out. So all I did is I took some jumper cables, brought them to this battery so we have a little bit more power to work with. And if you look here, I have a spark tester. What we're going to do is I'm going to zoom you guys in on that. I'm going to crank this over and we're going to see if we have spark. Well, just like the owner before said, with everything done, so right now we're on this coil, we'll test the other two here in a second. My wire runs around here, comes up around, and goes to our spark tester. So all we're going to do is we're going to pop it off this coil, put it on this one, and then we'll put it on that one, and we'll see if we have any spark at any of our coils. But I'm suspecting we don't, but we'll check it out anyway, so let's do the other two. There is no vehicle spark right now, and the owner told me he tried changing the computer out, he tried changing a few other things out, he tried checking for powers at certain points. And the only thing he didn't try was a crank sensor. So I went on Amazon and I bought the cheapest crank sensor they had. And yeah, let's install this and see if it runs. Dang, I was beginning to think we weren't gonna get this crank bolt out, but we got her out. And now all we have to do is take our pulley off here, and then we gotta pull the crank sensor there out. So yay! Well guys, I was digging through the car and I found this. I am guessing this is the old crank sensor, because if you look, this one looks pretty new. So this guy definitely tried a few things. He tried a new computer, he tried a new ignition module, and he tried a new crank sensors by the looks of it. So yeah, he's chased down about everything I thought I would have done too. So let's get this installed back on the car, and kind of mess around with some power wires, I guess. Well guys, as you can see, it's getting pretty dark out. It's getting pretty late. I'm a little worn out. I dug through the car. This is all the stuff he has tried. He had it in the car, so we still have the computer in there. And I just put the crank sensor in. I have all the coils together, and I still don't have sparks. So I think tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'll take that, my running Oldsmobile, and I'll park it right here, and I'll pop the hood on it, and I'll just have to go back and forth between the two of them, checking for powers that are either there or not there. So alright guys, it's the next day. The lighting over here is not going to be the greatest, but I started tracing out my wires to my cam sensor and my crank sensor, and I started checking for powers and everything. And everything appears to be good. Now, one of my buddies told me your car would run without a cam sensor. Unfortunately, he was wrong. I disconnected my cam sensor in my blue car, and it has no spark anymore. So, what I'm going to have to try and do is, yeah, you're not even going to be able to see it. That bugger's a long ways down there. I'm going to try and pull the cam sensor out of this, see if I can see anything wrong. If I do, I'm just going to order another one. If I don't, I'm going to have to try and pull it out of the blue one, and then put it in this one and see if that's our problem. So, it's been a lot of work. I'm getting a little tired of this thing, but I want to get it running, so here goes nothing. Alright guys, a little bit of progress. I have both the cam and crank sensor out of the yellow car. If you come over here, I did the same to the blue car. So what we're going to end up doing is, since I want the blue car to run, this is actually the crank and cam sensor out of the blue car, and this is the crank and cam sensor out of the yellow car. I'm just going to take and flip them both from car to car and see if the blue one will run, and see if we get spark on this yellow one. So let me get those things installed and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, little update. We have the cam and crank sensor in on the yellow one, and I have the blue one all the way back together. So what do you say we get you guys set up on the stand and see if this thing will start? Alright guys, this is going to sound weird, but here's the hoping it don't start. Well, that confirms it. It is definitely not a cam or crank sensor, so we got some more digging to do. Well guys, obviously it wasn't the crank sensor, the cam sensor, the computer, the ignition module. It wasn't the wiring. I looked up most of the wiring and it wasn't that, so fortunately I don't know what's wrong with it right now, and when I do, I will let you guys know. Yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, and get back to work.